Tonight on Baywatch, some local worms who think they own the beach, but a couple of surfers from the valley in the hospital yesterday.
So you one of the shooters?
Never heard of him.
They claim they own these waves.
That guy comes back again. It's gonna be chum for the sharks.
Hello, Mitch.
Took him a long time to get over you.
Of all the beaches and all the towns and all the world, she has to walk into mine.
I guess you get to decide if I stay or if I leave.
KMF 295, we need the scare at Tequila Bay.
Oh my God, Mitch, I'm sorry. I was just so surprised to see you standing there.
Not as surprised as I was.
Podcast, that's where it's at. You've got that Baywatch podcast, that's where it's at. You've got that Baywatch podcast, that's where it's at. You've got that Baywatch.
Welcome back, Baywatching Bays, rookie school members, to the Baywatching podcast, your only source for truth. I know you can see I've got another black eye here. My fail-safe with the kid in the park last week didn't work out. As you guys saw, I know the interview cut off. I got some more trophies here for just trying to do my due diligence as a journalist, okay? But enough drama aside, another note, there's another podcast, Baywatching podcast, being released on the feed. Disregard it. Don't listen to it. It's that rib guy. Just ignore that completely. This is the real deal. You're here. If you're listening to this now, you're in the right spot. And we are honored today to give a very dry Baywatching welcome to Yesenia Felix. She is here with us today. Hello, Yesenia. How are you?
What's up? I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm here with my, I know you're drinking there. We'll talk about it, but I've got my 99% proof rubbing alcohol to stay dry. To prove that I'm open-minded, we're going to be talking about something that Yesenia is interested in, water. But it's better water. She'll tell us about it. But I'll just say, I think that Yesenia is, she's a water enthusiast. I know she's a practitioner of yoga. She's a community builder. Is there any other roles that you have, Yesenia, that you want to share to describe yourself?
Badass MC. Consciouspreneur.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that.
Redefiner. Reframer.
Oh.
Angel.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that about does it. Mercurial Trickster is another one.
Oh, is that the planet or like the element? Or both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
And she's multilingual. So we have this is our wonderful guest, Yesenia. Thank you for telling us a little bit about yourself, Yesenia.
Of course. Is your name Andrew?
My name is Drew. Yeah, I guess if you look at my birth certificate, maybe it says Andrew. I can't ask my mom anymore because she doesn't speak to me. So, yeah. She gave me my grandparents' house to live in, and during the first season of the podcast, it burnt down, got flooded. I had to move in with Bill, that other guy, and we are where we are. But everything's all right now. You know, I live on bus stops from time to time, but they're really nice because they have a transportation built in. And here I'm at the studio, undisclosed studio, to keep us safe. I don't think you're going to punch me, but this is the first Zoom interview we're doing just to keep me safe. I don't need any more bruises, you know? And I'm surprised I do bruise, Yesenia, because I'm very dry. I'll tell you a little bit. I know you're a water person, but I'll tell you a little bit about my water stuff. And all the Baywatching Bays know, but I'm a dry enthusiast. I don't drink water. Water is an inorganic substance, and I wonder why we as life forms need this inorganic substance to sustain our lives. And I have not been drinking it. I'm 90% dry now. You can get tests on our website. I can sell them to you or anyone who you might be able to sell them to, Yesenia, to test your dry levels. And Harry Hosono, my Japanese guru of dryness, you know, he's kind of the guy that turned me on to all of this. He survived the Titanic, or at least his family did, and that was where he found out water was bad and was trying to kill us. It tried to kill his grandpa. And so from that wisdom to today, I don't drink water. But you're here to play a little bit of a devil's advocate to my dry truth.
Well, let me ask you this, Drew. You
Okay.
have a podcast called the Baywatching podcast where we assume Baywatch, they're watching a bay of
Yes.
water. So,
Yes.
how does reporting on water make you feel as a dry enthusiast?
Oh, it's traumatic. You're connected to because it's drowning human freedom across the globe, right?
Sure.
It's this new water order. It's been the biggest power since water came onto the planet and tried to break up Pangea. That was the one big continent, and then water infiltrated to break us up, separate humans. That's what it did. And so to cover it is necessary but very hard. My family has left me, my co-host, the podcast, Baywatch, the show, you asked, that's what led me to this because they're watching the Bay. And a lot of people think of it as kind of a stupid show. It's about sex. It doesn't really have good stories, and it's just a show cleavage. But that is a cover for the expose that it's doing of water truth. So if you watch it very closely, like I have been on our podcast, you'll find it's pointing you in the direction of dry truth. I don't know if that answered your question.
I guess why do it if it's so traumatic and it's, causing you to become not very healthy? I think
Right.
it's warping your brain a little bit to not have any water in your system.
You're right, but I have practices that help me sustain this. Like, I no longer, I have human litter box. So my moments of calm as I'm relieving myself, I do in the human litter box to stay away from the plumbing. Because it sounds like as I'm talking to you a little bit too, you're saying it's unhealthy that I'm not drinking any water. But I wonder if this, we've been told since we were children, Yesenia, in schools, what do they have? Drinking fountains. You get water breaks in like preschool and kindergarten. How come that's not considered propaganda? I mean, what if parents don't want kids drinking water? Shouldn't these kids be allowed to have the right, like I would for my kids? I would keep them dry. What if this water thing is a lie that we've been being told since we get out of the womb,
You mean the womb that is made of water?
Well, what if but would you read that? Where did we hear that?
Where did you hear that it's not?
Harry Hosono. There's a lot of like blog websites and YouTube video. Well, they're kind of on the dark web, documentaries they're all pretty homemade, low budget because we're not in control of the world. But I can point you, when we go off air, Yesenia, I made a documentary actually. It's called Wet Game. It's about the global conspiracy of water trying to drown us all out. So I guess I get a lot of these truths from myself.
So there's no peer-reviewed journalistic scholarly journals that you found this information from. Have you been to hospitals and maybe looked at people with chronic dehydration? Because they kind of look like sunken eyes and all kind of dried out like you do. And I don't know if you would be a picture of health right now.
They forced me to the hospital one time. It was I went too hard on it. I went from 70% to 99 too quick. You got to go 70, 80, 90.
Yeah, and 99 is one of the rarest forms of alcohol. I feel like you can kind of only find the 70 or 91. So kudos to you for finding the strongest stuff.
Thank you. And again, if it says on the bottle, you'll go blind. But another lie, because it's helping me to see. But Yesenia, you're a good host. You should be my co-host instead of this Bill character if we ever do the co-host thing again. You're asking questions. You're not making me feel like an idiot because you disagree. And Lord knows I disagree with what you're drinking, but I want to hear about why do you drink water? Do you believe in water? Is water important to you?
I guess I'm just so curious how much longer you're going to survive without water, because the way that this water came to me is that, it was I was almost in your boat. I was like, no, man, all water is the same. Like this might actually be bad for us. And then I was actually in school at the time. So a little backstory about me, I decided to become a doctor, but then I didn't finish school because I ended up kind of getting kicked out of my parents' place. But anyway, long story short.
And they're probably all that wet liberal truth that they're spewing on you, right? Besides, I know it probably was some parents, there was maybe some drama, but the colleges were trying to spread you that wet propaganda, right? So you said, I'm out of here. I don't need to be part of this.
I took classes like biology, chemistry, and they made me write papers, and I was really interested in like what is truth, right? What is out there? So I was thinking I could do my paper on essential oils. I could do it on the human auric field that's like 6 feet in front of you and it's like always, radiating energy. and or I could do it on the water. And the water is actually the only topic I found that had actual like decades worth of proven truth. So that's when I started thinking, okay, there's a reason why, we're not told about this type of water. It's because all the propaganda is about bad water. All the propaganda is about water that dries you out, that has no minerals, that has no ORP, which is oxidation reduction potential. It's all, I love truth and I love getting both sides of the story. So like, I'm gonna hear you out. And I'm also gonna point you in the direction of the truth as I've learned it and as has been accepted. But
Right.
we need both sides.
I like yes, and that's what I want to do here too. Most people say that I'm very critical of everything that I don't believe, but look, here we are talking about water, and I like what you were saying, Yesenia. But one thing that you said was kind of critical was that water dries you out, and I don't drink any of it. But I would almost say you're making a distinction between good water, right, and like bad water, which I love to hear because I rarely hear anyone say bad water, and I've been saying that. But you said the bad water could be drying you out, and that there's something else that might be in the good water. I got to hear you out. I got to hear about this.
So sometimes they sell this stuff called reverse osmosis water, which is water that has been watered down essentially, and it's been stripped of all the minerals. So when this water that has no minerals goes into your body, it actually seeps minerals from your bones, and it can make you, that can cause issues. Another thing is that this water is alkaline on a physical level, which means it uses energy and electricity of the water machine to make it alkaline. And other water companies use chemicals like sodium bicarbonate, which is just baking soda, and they added like magnesium and synthetic chemicals to your water. And over time, they balance the pH in water like they balance the pH in a pool. I'm not a pool. We're not, we have different chemical makeups, so that stuff can be like built up over time, and that's why certain water is more harmful for you just based on science.
Yeah. What was that water? Is that a water that like has been I guess like humans have kind of figured out how to make it better, or is it kind of like a naturally existing way that water already was, and then the water that we get through like like our fridges, our plumbing, or even through like the bottles that you buy at the store, like is there something that's kind of been done to that water by humans to make it worse? I guess I'm asking, is the water that you're saying is better, is it more natural? You know what I mean? In a way too?
Yeah, it's returned to its original state that has minerals, that has properties that can actually heal you. So there's places in France, Mexico, these springs where people line up for miles just to get a taste of this water because it's said to have healing properties. And all these healing properties is the increased reduction potential, which is ORP, which is like basically how much living energy is in the water that can be measured. And it also has high levels of hydrogen. So hydrogen within your body is a free radical scavenger. It's going to seek out, that's what the antioxidants are, is active hydrogen, pretty much. So yeah, the kind of water I have, I got a machine, I make it at home in my house, and it's actually given me the power to manifest my desires and live the best life I've ever had and help other people do it too. So yeah, I'm living proof that this stuff is amazing and it works, and can't tell me nothing.
Is that what you have right there?
Yes. So this is my living water, I call it. So I carry around one of these, and I try to drink one of these a day. And water takes on the energy. So the Japanese man, first of all, the machine comes from Japan, and there was another Japanese scientist that did an experiment where he had two sets of water, and to one water he would say things like "I love you." He would pray over it. He would chant beautiful things over it. And to the other one, he did the opposite. Said, "I hate you. You suck. You're ugly." All that.
That's what I say to my water. That I don't even drink it, but if I see the water, I tell it that.
So that is affecting the water on a physical level, because when he froze the cubes, he saw that the water that was treated nicely and beautifully had this beautiful hexagonal crystalline structure, and the water that was treated poorly was all murky and gross and just looked polluted and cloudy and nasty. So
I think I've seen the pictures. They kind of look like little ice snowflakes. Like the one, it's all these kind of geometric designs and patterns in it, right? Where it's very pretty and.
For sure, I'm gonna drink pretty water.
Right,
you know, I like pretty things.
Do you think it kind of leads me? You think water has a consciousness? Then?
Yeah, we are water.
Yeah.
If we can observe the effects of consciousness on water, and we're 90% water, or however percentage, you're probably like what, 50% water, even though you don't drink water.
I'm working
Water
on
is
getting down
still
to 100% dry. But you're right. I have a little in me still because it's hard to get out of me.
I feel like you might die before you reach 100% dry, because water is necessary to keep your body alive. Like, people who are constipated, actually, this is one of the things that it helps the most with, because your colon is mostly water. So if you don't have water, you're going to get backed up and you're going to get sick and you're going to get toxic, and there's no way for everything that you're eating to leave your body. So you just kind of become like a pond full of crap that is just not going anywhere. So yeah, I don't think this is a scientifically sound experiment, Drew.
Okay, well, I'm hearing you out because we're open minded here at the Baywatching podcast. But is that because we were gonna do an icebreaker? I want to do an icebreaker. Was that in the middle or endish we're doing it? But was that going to be your icebreaker item, Yesenia? It can be if you weren't going to bring anything.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Pretend that. See, you're drinking all that water. See, it makes me. But pretend that was yours. I hate the term icebreaker too, although I like it better than water breaker, because when water's frozen, it's a little less. It can't operate like it normally does, and when it's frozen, it's a little more stuck. So my goal, ironically, is to try to just freeze it all on the planet. Because right now it's melting at an incredible rate. Here's where I'm with the wet leftists. See, we can't melt all these ice caps. It's going to free more water. It's going to take us over. It's bad. But your item, and you're saying that not drinking, it reminded me of my item. This is my special item, Yesenia. It's a Speedo that I wasn't drinking water. It was my first year of non-water. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of gross, but it has kind of some dark markings on it because it was my first purge of when I stopped drinking. I just kept, oh my God, just purging. And so I saved this. It's a Baywatch Speedo. It's a little gross, but it's cleaner than like water poop. So just know, and that's why we're doing Zoom. I wouldn't have brought this to you in person. I'm a reasonable guy, But can I, obligation, this is not fun for me, but I got to bring this up because of the stupid network of iHeart Pods. And you've been telling us so much great stuff. It's very challenging to me, but I'm going to take it all in. I'm not going to drink it right away, but I'm going to think about it. But I have to talk about the show. Have you seen season 3, episode 3 of Baywatch?
No, I haven't. But just the fact that I am so in tune with this water made me randomly, we didn't even plan this, come on season 3, episode 3. It's 3-3, which is, hexagonal. Just so you're aware. I may not have remembered the icebreaker, but I am here by glorious purpose.
What is that? What is it? Can you explain a little bit of the 3-3? It'll be more interesting than a Baywatch episode.
So 3-3 is just like a master number, and it's a number of power and influence. So it's just really interesting that the water has led me to your show on 3-3. Just saying,
That is true. And 3-3 is the age of my, I don't know if you believe in God. It was going to be one of my questions, but my guru, the Lord on Dry Jesus. You can go buy our song about Dry Jesus, because every time you listen to it, you got to buy it, though. Remember that. So, Dry Jesus, he spoke the dry truth. But Baywatch, real quick, lame episode, Yesenia, anyway, because Mitch is dealing with a new captain that's in charge of him. And guess what it is? It's someone that had an affair with him because he kept giving up on his water truth. We lost 2 lifeguards. They went to Australia, which, as we know, Bill will tell you this is not true. Yesenia, I know he tells you this all the time. Australia is a place where people who go to be consumed by the water. It's where you go to die. When, like, the water agents that live in the world, like, if you don't ever see me again, Yesenia, since I'm confronting some of this water stuff, you know that I've probably been sent to Australia. So some characters in this episode get sent to Australia. And what else happens? Ben's the new captain. He teaches a cute young girl how to surf, even though he's an old guy and it's supposed to be funny, because how could he even know how to surf? I don't know. They're all really too close to the water. And every time someone hits the water in this show, they just die. So it's not like these places that you're telling me about in France where people go to the water to heal. They never show that on Baywatch. And maybe I'm opening my mind a little bit and you're letting me know today that there is good water and there's bad water. It's like I'm going to take that baby step for today, you know? Maybe I won't hate all water thanks to you today, Yesenia.
Happy to help. I think that's just the main purpose behind my own mission, is to educate people. And you can lead people to water, but you can't make them drink. So
Right. And
that's where I'm at.
and you lead them there, I'll lead them away. But there's one more thing I want to ask you because you brought it up, and it's contrapreneur consciousness. I can't say it, but it's not because I'm dumb or I'm not drinking enough water. I just real dry. It gets hard to speak. I just have perpetual cotton mouth because of being dry. It's one of the drawbacks.
I know something that could help you with that.
Rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, drink up. Cheers.
Cheers.
To your good health.
Yes, and yours as well. What is consciouspreneurship, though?
Well, consciouspreneurship is a term that my friend Jasmine coined. She was the one that actually helped me open my eyes to this whole thing. And it's pretty much, again, going back to Japan, where this technology comes from. In that country, they don't necessarily believe in the rugged capitalistic individualism that we have in this country. It's more, you want to build business relationships and help others out with the work that you do. So you, rather than seeing someone as someone that you can, use to build your own life and take advantage of in that way, you kind of nurture them like they're a tree. You water them, you help them grow, you're patient with them. So it's really just that. It's really helping people grow into more of who they're meant to be. It's really just kind of guiding them to their fullest potential. And the water does a lot of that work, luckily for us, because it sort of just opens up any blockages, removes any obstacles, and everything else is up to the individual. So it's kind of consciously acknowledging that there is a better way to do business and a better way to help the planet.
I like it. It sounds beautiful. I'm a capitalist. I'm a dry capitalist, though. I gotta tell you, capitalism built the pyramids, no water. So I like what you're saying, but I'm wondering if I can use my capitalistic dry. How can I use all of that? Maybe everything you're plugged into to water my tree. How can I use all of that? Because I got all these pills, Yesenia, that I got from Harry Hozono, my Japanese guy, and I can't sell these pills. They're dry pills. Some people say they're just candy. They are not. It's called super male drytality, but women, men, babies can have them. Can you sell these? How can I use this that you're telling me about to enrich myself and just get rid of all these products? Can you sell these products? Can you take them?
Well, what do the pills do?
They dry you out.
They dry you out?
You're supposed to not drink water. You take these pills. You chew them up and you just kind of you breathe them down. Chew them up real fine.
Ew.
Yeah.
That sounds so painful. That sounds like you're gonna get like a lung disease from aspiration.
Some
That's
people
not
got
good.
some cuts in their esophagus, but I don't think they were using them correctly. I think we could make a lot of money. I could make a lot of money. You could help me to do it. And of course,
why would anyone do this to themselves?
To dry out them, because you find a higher truth. All the lies of water, Yesenia, they've been spreading to keep us down and depressed and poor and isolated, right? Like, I know I'm isolated, poor, depressed, in debt, have all these pills. It's not because of my philosophies, or it's not because of these conspiracies I believe. It's
I'm not gonna help you sell these pills.
But you've got a bigger following than me, and you're on Yesenia's following. You're watching. Buy these pills directly from me. We could cut her out, right? Let's cut out the middle. Yes, Yesenia, and just go Baywatching podcast at Baywatching podcast on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. You could buy them directly from me, and enrich my tree. Please.
But how are you helping others by selling these pills? How does it help people?
They know about the dry truth. They watch Baywatch. They listen to my podcast. They buy my T-shirts. They look at my documentaries. That's a lot of help.
I'm seeing now that your pineal gland is so dried up, like a shriveled raisin, that I don't think I can reach you right now. I think the dryness has really cut off your connection to source, and I will help you but I cannot help you sell these pills. I'm sorry.
Well, you're drinking all the water. You're a little too wet, Yesenia. You're just a little too wet just because Cardi B's writing all these songs, and it's like, come on. Come on. I mean, please, one more time. These pills, they're going to do wonders. I know we're almost out of time.
How can you think that dryness is the way when you watch Baywatch and there's a moon that controls the tides and that we're 90% water? How can you not understand that we're part of the whole? You can't just use something to enrich yourself. You have to help everybody.
You're right. You're right. No, you're right. You're really making me think. The moon controls the water. It's the moon that I need to be telling people about because it's controlling it might be above the water. I thank you. You're saying yes. Now, can I join? Can I join consciouspreneurship? Consciousnesspreneurship?
I don't know if you're conscious enough, but I'll give you some water. If you're gonna be a part of it, you have to drink water though. So I just don't think it's gonna work out. I don't think it's for you. Because you have to drink water if you're going to be a consciouspreneur. You just have to.
Well, please don't think of it, and don't leave, please. I know we're almost out of time here. I know maybe I've been a little hostile, but just please don't leave, Yesenia. Just consider me one more time. I don't have any friends.
No.
Yeah, please, just one more chance. I mean, come on.
I don't think this is for you. I'm sorry. I think we're done here, unless you're going to drink the water.
No, wait. No, you said it. No. Oh.